Welcome back to Spirit and Action. In this video, let's look at what happened last year and what you're going to do for next year. Of course, the end of December is a natural time for us to think about all of the things that happened in the year that has just finished, and then of course to think about how we're going to improve for next year. Even if you don't like New Year's resolutions, it's something that we always think about in this season. In this video, I'd like to suggest a few questions that will help you to evaluate the year that has gone and also get some ideas for what you want to do for the future, the coming 12 months. Some of the questions will surprise you and give you an interesting angle on your thoughts and planning. Let's get started by looking at the year that's gone. The first thing to do then is to take an overview of what happened last year. And here are a few questions that will help you to see your year in perspective. Here's the first question. Just ask yourself, what happened? What were the good things and the bad things? Just be fairly objective about it and just see them as events. Try and take a step back. Although they might be good or bad, don't focus too much on the emotional content of them. The next question is, if I had to repeat this year, what would I do? And this question leads on to another one you can ask, which is, what have I learned from this year? It's up to you as to how much detail you go into these questions. You might just want to write 2 or 3 sentences, or you might want to go into a lot more detail. It's completely up to you. So the next thing is to think about your wins. These are perhaps some obvious questions. For example, you can ask, what did I achieve? I think we all have that question in our mind. As well as thinking about the goals you achieved, also ask yourself some hows. How did I achieve those goals? And also, how did I celebrate them? And as well as how, think about why. Why did I achieve those goals? These questions of how and why should give you a bit more insight into your achievements. Now, it's good to look at the positive things that happened, but it's also important to look at what went wrong. So this is the other side of your year in review, and consider the things that went wrong. What goals did you not achieve? And on this topic, there's a couple of extra questions that will help you analyze things in more detail. For example, you can ask, did I think my goals through properly? Also, consider if you just forgot about stuff. Did you ignore some goals? Did you forget about some? They are some useful questions that will help you to review the year that has passed. I'll put a mind map of these questions in the description, at least a link to it where you can download the mind map. Now, once you've considered last year, of course, it's time to look forward into the next 12 months. And here are some questions that will help you to consider the next year. So there are 2 main areas here to think about. Firstly, think about your vision and values, and then of course think about your goals. I've got some interesting questions that will help you to focus on your vision and values. So let's look at these first. The first thing you can do is to look at the vision, the plan that you already have, and then decide if you need to sharpen it, make it more focused. So the question is, do I need to sharpen my vision? As well as looking at your focus, you can also look at your priorities. The question here you can ask is, what beliefs, standards, values do I need to prioritize? And then there is also the classic question about be, have and do. What do I want to be, have and do next year? This is always a fun one where you get to indulge and look at the actual things, the nice things that you want to happen. Another important question that people don't really think about when they're planning is what happens when things go wrong. And it's useful to have an answer to that kind of question, because things won't go as planned and you need to know how you're going to deal with this kind of situation. So here the question is, how will I recover from a setback? And the last question is also related to execution. It's all very well thinking about all of the goals that you want to achieve, the things you want to be, do and have, and then not even think about how you're going to execute it. What price am I willing to pay next year? They are the questions you can ask yourself about the vision and your values. Once again, this is all on the mind map that I will share with you, so check that out. However, of course, the second section for next year is your goal planning itself. Now, I'm going to keep this fairly brief because there's a lot of other stuff on goal planning, and I'm sure you already know the process. However, there are some useful questions you can ask. Here they are. The first question is to ask yourself, what goals do I need to finish? You're probably not starting the year from a blank slate. There are probably things you started last year and you still need to finish this year. Looking at your previous goals and see which ones you're going to carry on and work through for the next year. As well as your goals, you'll also need relevant skills to actually develop and succeed in your goals. So the next question is, what skills do I need to develop? And then finally, you can also ask yourself, what am I going to stop doing? This is a little bit like the price paying question. If we want to achieve our goals, then there's stuff that we need to stop doing. It's worth making a list of those kind of things. Now, it's quite difficult to stop doing something, so you need to kind of keep working at that one throughout the next 12 months. All right, there we have it. They are a few questions that you can ask yourself to help yourself review the previous year, think about how you are going to get better for next year. Please download the PDF mind map to get that information there. Maybe sit down and write your answers to the questions. So that's it for this video, wishing you a successful planning session, and remember to subscribe to the channel if you found this video useful. I'll see you in the next one.